Okay, we're back with Damon Locks for part 2 of the interview. So you had some new projects that you were working on. One is the Spark into a Fire with a choir. I think it was like a 4 or 5 piece choir that you were working on. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I've been trying to kind of bring my sound work or my sound practice and my visual art practice together to try to figure out ways that I could present the work and instead of thinking of them as separate entities, thinking of them as one entity. So I've been doing these sound pieces where I've been making art for the sound piece, like a little piece of art that goes with the sound piece, but I wanted to up the ante on that.
Right.
And so since I had the studio space here at the Hyde Park Art Center, where we're at now, I wanted to do something so that up the ante on sound, and also I used the visual work that I was working on, that were works in progress, as the staging for it.
Yeah.
So to up the ante, I thought I would make myself create a 5-piece choir. So I wrote all the music for that, and then got a percussionist, and I used drum machines and samples, and then we performed it from opening the doors of my studio and performed it for an audience, and it was really wonderful, which I will continue to develop that.
Right.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I actually posted that video to the page, so if you want to go check it out, you can just go check us out on Facebook at The Rtisan, and that video is up there. It's really powerful. The harmonies in it are really beautiful with the drum loops and everything going in the background. It's a really great piece.
They did a fantastic job, and I'm super appreciative of them because it was like an idea that I had, and they all jumped in 100%, and it was really fantastic. And I hope that we're recording right now, but I hope to expand that more and like to do more of it, because I've been working with a dance company called Move Me Soul.
I know that group. Yeah.
We are going to be performing next Saturday at Summer Dance at like Millennium Park. We're going to be doing a tribute to Fela, but we did a piece at the MCA together for the first piece we ever did together was really phenomenal, where we collaborated on. I brought sound, they brought moves, and we built this whole piece in response to this Merce Cunningham exhibition that they had up at the Museum of Contemporary Arts. And so it was really wonderful working with this Austin neighborhood dance company, and they're just phenomenal. So this will be like the 4th or 5th time that we've performed together. I also have been working with a dancer named Onye Zuzu on a long form piece of hers that's been developing over time, doing sound with dancers. But another dancer named Martine Whitehead, so she and I have been working together on several projects. So I feel like I'm going to be utilizing dance and probably the choir in the future together for a piece, which I'm kind of excited to figure out what that's going to look like.
Okay. I can dig that, man. Where did you get the idea to put that together?
The choir, well, there's 2 versions of that, like 2 versions of the idea that kind of converged. A long time ago, I was doing, I had done these double Dutch pieces that were, I went down to the school called the Young Women's Leadership Charter School, Young Women's Leadership Charter School, I took all these photos of double Dutch, them doing double Dutch, and I did all these pieces and these photographic pieces that I was really like, photo collage pieces that I really liked. And years later, I was in New Orleans and on this residency at the New Quorum. And so me and this woman, Lisa Harris, went to go see this performance for like a MLK celebration.
Right.
And there was this like young choir that was performing, and they broke out, and then there was like 8 of the young women started singing, and I was just like, this is really beautiful.
Right.
They remind me of the Double Dutch Girls.
Right.
I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if I could be down with this? Like, this is amazing.
Right.
You know? And that was a couple years ago, but I kept holding on to this idea, like, can I do a choir? And a couple years ago, it didn't seem possible. And it still seemed pretty weird when I told people about it this time, but I felt determined, like it was the time.
Right.
I knew I could do it. That's one of the incentives for doing it.
Right.
And the other incentive was that in my looking back and in time, thinking about voices and thinking about the past feeling like the present, I realized that gospel music was the voice of the civil rights movement. That's where Black people went back to, because that was the music that the metaphors worked the best. You know? A lot of the organizing, as you said earlier, came from the church.
Right.
And so I was like, it feels really similar to that time period right now. What would happen if we had the same kind of sonorities or the same kind of melodies or the same kind of that kind of sound, but we updated it and did it in a contemporary setting? Like, what would that do? Would that have that same kind of propulsion? Would that touch the heartstrings in a similar way? Will that inspire? Will that do something? So I thought that would be interesting to work in that format.
I dig that, man. So you said you had something going on at Millennium Park.
Yeah,
what was it called?
That's the summer dance.
Right.
That's this Saturday.
What is that?
Well, I think that in reality, it's like a bunch of dance companies across the city are going to be performing, and so the Move Me Soul our artistic directors hit me up and said, "Hey, would you like to work the sound on this?"
Right.
So they had developed this piece, and I'm just doing my little Damon on top of it. You know what I mean? Like I'll be working the knobs and doing a little Damon flavor on this tribute to Fela.
I can dig that. So this is it's this Saturday. What date is that? What's today? The 17th?
I think today's like the
20th?
Yeah.
21st, something like that?
I'm going to look at my phone. You got it?
Let's see. Today's the 21st. So it's this Saturday coming up. So that'll be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 26th. Is that right?
Sure.
Yeah. So either the 20. Yeah, you can go look it up. Either the 26th or the 27th.
Yeah.
The Summer Dance Fest at Millennium Park.
Yeah, I think the program starts at 6:30. I'm not exactly sure when we start.
I'll find it and I'll post it to my Twitter, which is _artisan. My Facebook, which is just the Artisan or something like that, and we'll find it. We'll make it available for you guys so you can go check it out. So yeah, you got that going on. I'm really excited. I'll probably go now because I'll take some pictures. It sounds like great. Yeah, man. So you also did some work with a Taiwanese artist.
Kathy Sao, I think is how I pronounce her last name. I think that's how I pronounce it. I don't know how she pronounces it.
Sorry, Kathy. We'll get it right next time.
Or maybe I got it right this time. I'm not sure. But that's a 10x10 project. It's a collaboration with Homeroom and Sputnik Press and Experimental Sound Studio, where they take artists that deal with sound and visual artist works, and we collaborate. So Kathy and I collaborated on a piece about place. So there's a screen print that's involved in it, and there's also a sound piece that we collaborate on.
Right.
And there's a performance on September 9th, I think, at ESS.
Okay, cool.
I'll be performing 2 times that night. I also have to perform in this thing called the Instigation Orchestra, which collects Chicago musicians and New Orleanians that will be improvising a piece together, as well as dancers from Chicago and New Orleans responding and interacting with the music. So that's going to be at the Constellation. So I'm going to have to do a set with Kathy at ESS and then run down to the Constellation and do a set with the Instigation Orchestra and the Diaspora dancers.
Right. If you haven't been down to Constellation, that is a fantastic space to play music. A group who I'm actually doing a podcast with on Friday called Black Diamond had their album release just this past Friday, and it was the first time I've ever been there. It's a fantastic space, man. The acoustics in there are really great. Huge floor, the seating on 3 sides. It's beautiful. There's parking, which I can always get down with in Chicago. So yeah, man, I'm probably gonna try to get down to that too. It sounds super interesting. How did you and Kathy link? Because she seems, when I was looking into the interview you all did together, I was like, oh man, how the hell does Damon and this Taiwanese artist link up? Like that's
Well, the 10x10 project paired us up.
Okay.
So there are other collaborators also for this project. So they paired us all up, and we looked for spaces that we can meet up and collaborate artistically.
Okay, I can dig that. Okay, So we talked about the past you. We talked about what you're doing right now. What does Damon Locks hope to be doing in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years?
Well, my group, the Eternals, keeps going on. We're a trio, a quartet, a 6-piece, and a 10-piece. Last year, the year before, we released like one of the best albums that we ever did, which is a 10-piece album called pt2 Zombie. So I will continue to work with the Eternals, but I'm also really excited about expanding this sound visual thing, trying to figure out how I can make those intersect and how I can make them work and kind of deliver what I need to deliver, but with the sonics and the visuals that I guess I'd say, like, since those two aspects are so important to me, I want to figure out how I can make them work as a unit.
Sure.
And in ways that I haven't seen done in the past. I'm not as interested in just like having an exhibition and just letting sound play the whole time,
right,
or using parabolic speakers or headphones. I got to figure out how to make these experiences kind of come to life as opposed to just being like, oh, it's just on, come in whenever you feel like it.
Right. I noticed there's a lot of that happening, around. I know here at the Hyde Park Arts Center, there was something that they did here that was very similar to that, and it's kind of a passive experience, in a way. It's like, if come in if you want, and if not, kind of whatever. Yeah. But I think what you're doing as far as the visuals, the art, the sound, it's kind of unavoidable. It kind of attacks all the senses, which I think is, I would love to see more of that going on.
Yeah,
so,
I hope to figure it out. I got to figure out how I can kind of be like more intentional with like how the viewer or the experiencer gets to experience it, instead of just letting it run. You can come in and come out whenever you want. Like I want to have the experience for each of the people. Like I want to be like, I want you to see the start and the finish. I don't want you to come in halfway through and then have to stick around and watch the
right.
But we'll see. We'll have to figure it out.
I can dig that, man. I can dig it.
But we're looking at time. It's almost that time.
Yeah. We're about to wrap it up right now. All right. So we want to thank Dame for coming out. We're going to wrap it up. Stay tuned.
Thank you for coming out.
Oh,
I
man.
was already here.
Hey, man, whatever, man. We'll be a guest on the show. It works either way, man. I get to come back to the Hyde Park Arts Center, and it's always a pleasurable experience. We're going to do something here, and we're going to make it big, and it's going to be video and all this other cool stuff. But go check him out, Damon Locks on Facebook. You got a website up?
Don't go to my website. Just go to my Facebook.
Okay, we can check him out at Damon Locks. You can see him this Saturday at Millennium Park and at the Constellation on September 9th.
And if I'm wrong, you'll see it on the website.
Absolutely. We'll post it up, man. We're going to stay in tune with him 100%. And once again, I want to thank him for coming, for having me here at his space. And we're looking forward to the things you're doing in the future, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No doubt, man.